What up, everybody? It's Jay Wilson live. Ask Away with Jay. I believe this is number 4. So weird, I'm in somebody else's house. We broke in. They've got some fish tanks, so I figured we'd do it here. But the gentleman is in front of me. I'm going to try to flip the script on this bad boy, and hopefully it works out. And then we will ask a few questions, get to know the man, Corey Hecker. What's up, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right, Benny DeJesus. What's up, buddy? So give me a second so I can pull this up on an iPad because I'm not very good at all this fancy go live stuff. So Corey's stuff, I'm going to actually show you guys this. Look at this awesomeness. Since we're on a tripod here, look at that. We're going to see if we can bring this real close. So really neat of Corey Hecker to invite us over the house so we can kind of check out the fish. And man, his 220 has got some pretty awesome looking fish. One that sticks out to me is the Rostratus. That thing rocks. The Buccochromis notitania looks pretty snazzy as well. Granted, all his fish look good, but it's kind of hard to pick just one or two. And then he's got his tank that we're going to be sitting in front of. Check this bad boy out. What's going on, Cichlid Guy? Not Matt Webster. Really, dude? Adam C. What's up, man? So I'm going to sit this up. Corey and I will kind of do our thing, answer some questions, talk a little fish. We'll keep it short, we'll keep it simple, and we'll have a good time. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to answer questions, so Mindy, you're going to have to read them because this bad boy is not on Wi-Fi. I failed. So, Corey, let me ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
How long you been keeping fish, brother?
I've been keeping them for about 2 years now. I actually kept it back in the mid-90s. Had the old Oscar tank in the 55. Wasn't so taboo back then, but you know, there wasn't the internet, so we've been doing it forever. I had some angels, you know, pretty much anything PetSmart had.
PetSmart? Come on, dude.
Back in the day, but ever since, like I said, ever since about 2 years ago, I got really serious with it, and you can see where it's gone from there.
Yeah, well, I won't tell everybody. To the left of him, but to the right of you folks that are watching, he's got some other tanks that maybe we'll take a sneak peek at real quick before we roll out. I can't figure this thing out, so we're going to shoot from the hip and just ask Corey some questions. The dynamic duo, Joe Munoz said. So deal with it. This is how we're going to do it. So folks, we've taken the 16-hour drive from Oklahoma all the way to Michigan, and Corey Hecker, like I said, was nice enough to let us in. And we're just going to kind of flip the script a little bit and do something a little different here. YouTube Live, Ask Away with Jay. So ACAs this week, starts tomorrow, will run all the way to Sunday. If you're anywhere close to the Novi area of Michigan, which is just outside of Detroit, you gotta be there. And if you're not there, you're a lame.
Square.
Or square. So, Corey, you've got, what do you got? Over 60 fish, 70 fish in here?
Probably right around 70. Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the Crown and Coke?
No Crown and Coke. Corey invited me over. No Crown and Coke. Nothing.
There is Evan Williams. It's too cheap for him, though.
Nah, yeah, no, it's too cheap. So, out of all the fish you have, if you had to keep just one of them, which would you keep?
I would probably keep a fish that you guys aren't seeing yet. That would be in the other room, one of the peacock bass.
Did you just say your wife didn't like those?
She hates them.
So, wife hates him, he wants to keep them. That's probably not the best of ideas if you've been keeping fish a long time.
Or it keeps her out of the fish room.
Touche, sir. But my wife is standing behind the camera, and now you've just completely ruined anything that I would try to do. So, what's been the hardest thing in terms of fish keeping for you? I mean, granted, there are stairs. We're in his man cave, which is down the stairs in the basement sort of thing. Right. Other than bringing the tanks down those stairs.
Bring the tanks down these 10 stairs that weigh 400 pounds dry weight.
Yeah, no, but he's a big guy, as you can see. I'm 6'2", 225. I can only imagine. No, literally, I'm 5'8", 180. But look, the dude's huge. I look like a midget sitting next to him.
I juiced the chair up.
Oh, okay. Jerk. So, other than bringing the 400-pound tanks,
how do you do water changes?
Well, we'll get to that question in a second. What's been the hardest thing about keeping fish down here?
The hardest thing to keep fish, learning. Learning. I've started out, like I said, 2 years ago. I would say that the YouTube community was kind of in its infancy, even though there's been guys that aren't in the community anymore that have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
But the group that we have now, IFG, Adam C, Dion, yourself.
Yicka, what?
What? Learned a lot from all those guys. You know, the proper filtration, the proper tank mates, the proper water conditions. Went from there. But that's not something I guess you learn overnight. That's something you trial and error. And, you know, I guess you see some of these tanks and you say, hey, that's what I want. And then you go to the store, go to Butch, buy all this fish. Next thing you know, you have half your tanks dead because you didn't even cycle the tank. I mean, it's just a process.
Okay. So water changes. I don't know who asked the question, but how do you do water changes down here?
Water changes, I have a laundry tub in the other room. I actually don't have a python. I work at Lowe's.
What the heck?
I don't have a python. I work at Lowe's, so I got tubing. I got the PVC tubing that hooks directly right into the spigot. I run it right to the tank, drop it in, fill it up.
Shameless plug for Lowe's. Did you see that? Yeah. Shameless plug for Lowe's.
I'm lunch from Lowe's as we speak.
Yeah, he actually is on lunch. This dude rearranged his schedule so that we can do this together, which is absolutely amazing. So you've been keeping fish on and off for almost ever. Mm-hmm. Well, almost ever.
Well, you know, a while.
Yeah. How old are you?
40.
Okay. I'm not saying this because I want to take him out to dinner or anything, but dude doesn't look 40. But still, so you've been keeping fish for a long time. What would be the next move for you? I mean, I see, we're going to show you some awesome stuff over here, but as far as what we got here you've got 3D backgrounds galore, you've got some big fish. I mean, you bought fish from Southeast Cichlids. Where else have you gotten fish?
Gotten Cichlid Shack.
Okay.
Awesome fish from there. Ron Demers.
Okay.
YouTube.
Yep.
Or not YouTube, I'm sorry, Facebook.
Facebook. Oh, sorry, not YouTube.
Not YouTube. Cichlid Express.
Okay.
I think those are about the main ones in my local fish store.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your local fish store, because people seem to just completely forget about local fish stores. So
my local fish store is actually really good. I mean, you walk into it, it's well lit, the tanks are clean, there's no algae. I've actually formed a really good relationship with the owner.
Cool.
And because of that, I'm actually going to be getting a couple new things, like a new tank behind here, maybe.
Oh, new. Does the wife know?
She does.
Okay, good. So new tank possibly.
New tank possibly. This tank has to go. I said no more tanks. So in order to get a new tank, you have to get rid of a tank, right?
What is this? This is leaving, right?
This is leaving. 125 that I originally started with 2 years ago is going to be gone.
She gone. What's the question?
Adam C wants to know if you guys are having a sleepover.
Adam C, that's none of your business. If
Jealous.
you're concerned about a sleepover, can you kick that sleeping bag out of the way? If you're concerned about a sleepover, you should have been here, and I'm not sure exactly where you live.
He was invited, so...
Does he live close?
No, he lives in St. Louis, but he was invited to come here. But
dude, what is that?
He was too good for me.
Too good, Adam C. That's going to be the new tagline. Too good, Adam C. So, are you talking about how big this tank's going to be down here?
I'm looking right around 300 gallons. So it's going to be...
Sweet.
3 times this. And that will be home to the peacock bass.
So I think he really likes peacock bass. He's mentioned them like 3 times already.
Nothing against anything else.
So you've got Africans, you got South American, what do you got, Central American? I'm not good with all the other
Central
stuff.
American.
Central American. No South American. I apologize to all
People
you.
do get upset about that.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's like, yeah, people get very upset. And I apologize. I apologize. So, would you ever get rid of all your fish just to keep the peacock bass?
No.
No?
I'm at a point now, I guess when we talk about the multiple tank syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a point now where the tanks I have are perfect. Like I can maintain them, enjoy them, which is a nice perfect balance. So I like what I've got. I'm not really looking to add tanks. I mean, obviously getting a bigger tank, but not adding a tank. So it's like relocating fish into different tanks. That's what I like to do right now. Not adding, not subtracting.
So like a take and replace thing. So
correct.
Do you see yourself getting rid of the 220?
220's never leaving. Never.
It's a strong word, dude.
Well, barring
a catastrophe.
Barring catastrophes, it's not leaving.
Okay, so we've got so I see all this different type of filtration. I didn't see anything under here.
Sunsuns.
Okay. Have they failed on you?
Sunsuns have never failed.
So it's not a bad filter where it's just failing all the time.
I think you can see. I mean, we could even probably take a minute and walk through all. I mean, I have, I believe, 11 Sunsuns.
Huh.
And I have nothing else.
Because this is what I see. Sunsuns are horrible. My seal is broke. Oh my goodness, they're trash. Dude's got 11 of them in here. Now, I'm not saying that they're the best end-all be-all filter, but I think they're a very effective budget-friendly filter for somebody that just goes maybe a little bit insane with fish tanks and trying to figure some stuff out. But I believe it goes. How often do you clean your tanks? I mean, realistically, not like we tell. Like I clean my fish tank every 3 days.
Well, actually, good thing you asked. Actually, right on the tanks, I have a black magic marker, erasable, and I marked down everything here was changed July 5th.
Awesome.
So, Sunday's my off day. I'm gonna change them. What is that? July 14th,
okay.
15th. So every 7 to 10 days.
Awesome.
Do the whole thing. Obviously, if I have multiple days in a row off, I'll split it up, so it's not killing me. But
yeah, no, that would suck.
I'm actually right now. I'm actually in the process of stretching it out, just because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks on vacation. So I didn't want it to be a shock to the fish. So if I slowly add a day or two each water change, they'll be worked up to the 2 weeks.
That's legit. What do you?
Matt Webster wants to know how many gallons total in the house.
Matt Webster. Come on, dude. Do the math, Matt. We got a 220, 125. We got 355s in there. We got a 75.
275s, 155, and a 180.
Do the math. He's got over 700 gallons.
About 7, yeah. About 7.
I don't even know. However, I did not see... I'll show it to you later. I didn't even see him having that fish down. Is that your fish down the bottom?
Princess Peach?
Princess Peach.
Princess Peach. Princess Peach is a fish that we bought way back in the day. One of our first ones. And it's...
Mario!
It's impossible to get rid of Princess Peach. As much as I kind of really don't even like Princess Peach. It doesn't fit any what I'm doing anymore. Princess Peach has a home permanently.
Dude's got Princess Peach, and I'll show you in a few minutes. But he's got this fish solo. That's a 55, right?
It's not solo. It is a 55. She's actually in there with a catfish and one of my Vijas that was acting up in the 180.
So she's by herself because nobody's playing.
They're hiding in the corner while she's patrolling the tank.
So I'll show you Princess Peach here shortly, but I just think it's pretty wild that, here just in fish keeping. Do you have a question?
What has been the most challenging over the years? And that's from Sean Land.
Sean Land.
The most challenging.
Being awesome is what he's going to say.
It's very challenging. After a while, though, you get used to it.
Whoa! It's a stain. You can't wipe it off.
Wow.
No, the challenge would be balancing family time and tanks. It's, as you can see, like I said, with all these tanks, it does take time and a designated day to doing, say, 700 gallons of water. It doesn't happen overnight, so it's one of those things that's, you just got to find the balance.
Yeah, I remember last year at ACA, you didn't come for very long because you had a lot going on.
Right.
But you brought your daughter.
Yep, she's right up here, actually. Top of the stairs.
Come down here. Come down here. So this young lady was at ACA last year. I think we're guarding her room right now.
Yeah.
So, Jillian, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you like about the fish? You come right here. Here, you can sit down. You sit down. So tell them what you like most about fish.
Well, I think they're really cool, and my dad has a lot of them. And my favorite for his fish are the peacock bass because they're really cool and they're really big and fat.
That's a win. That's a win for him.
Everybody except the wife likes the peacock bass.
And I like the most part about them is when we buy little tiny goldfish and we'll feed them to them and they'll just scarf them down. It's funny. And
hey, everybody's got to eat.
And I like the fish that he has because they're really cool and they have all these different colors. And sometimes when my dad's down here watching TV and looking at his fish, I'll come down here, I'll come out of my room and
I'm not the life of the party, I guess.
And I'll just come out of my room and just sit down here and look at the fish. Sometimes I'll go in there and look at them.
Cool. So let me ask you a solid question. First off, how old are you?
11.
Okay, so this should be a question you can answer. Do you think that by your dad keeping fish and you sort of liking them, that you and your dad can hang out more? Because I'm sure your dad doesn't do gymnastics and stuff. No. So does this help you kind of hang out with dad a little more with the fish and stuff? Cool. So outside of the peacock bass, what's your favorite fish in this tank?
Oh, that tank? I had to do the Starry Night.
Okay.
Only because it was my fish.
Oh, it was yours. That's
originally bought for her.
And you never even got a tank. Your dad had the tank and everything, right?
Well, I did have a tank once.
You did? And you didn't take care of it, so.
No, I didn't. Well, I had 2 tanks. One of the tanks we got rid of, and the other one's in there, I think.
Yeah, that's the one that Peaches in.
And she likes One Direction.
I did.
Oh. Burn One Direction. You'll never see this, but.
I don't like it that much.
You don't like it that much? So, what do you got going on this weekend? Are you coming to ACA with your dad, or are you super busy?
Well, this weekend I have a soccer tournament on Saturday.
Of course, an athlete.
But, I mean, I would like to go. It just depends with him if he wants me to go. Because I like going to that kind of stuff because it's really cool. And I get away from the house in my room.
You sound like you're like 30.
Yeah. It's a getaway.
It's a getaway. Well, that's awesome. So, well, that's cool. I actually appreciate you not being too scared to come on camera and talking. Do you want to help us walk through and show us some fish in the...
The peacock bass. Everybody wants to see
You want to go
that.
see the peacock bass? All right, let's go check out the peacock bass real quick. Bum, bum, bum.
Without the big wandering.
So, this is real fish keeperville. You know, you just start making areas for, clearly he moved the couch and stuff for the fish tanks.
Yes.
Did you have to upgrade any electrical circuit breakers for any of your tanks?
No.
Nope. And you told me, when was the house built?
54.
1954, he did not have to adjust any sort of electrical. Did you do any more insulation, or you just kept it the same? Because I know it gets cold here.
Well, you see all the insulation here.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's over here you can kind of see a poured wall.
Okay.
So obviously there's not a whole lot over in here.
Gotcha.
But these guys actually have the 2 500-watt heaters for this tank. Now I haven't had these tanks during the winter yet, but it's a basement, so it stays usually right around 70 degrees.
Cool.
And there's Princess Peach.
Okay, so this is the fish we were talking about.
Let's see if I have a light. Or just...
Princess Peach. Clearly you can see Sunsun. You know, honestly, since I started talking about Sunsuns like 4 years ago, I wish I got a little bit of love from Sunsun.
Right.
Anybody that owns a Sunsun should get some love from them. But there's Princess Peach. Not a huge fan of Princess Peach. Corey didn't sound like he was either, but you are. You. But so Princess Peach is not going anywhere. And so what do we got in this bad boy before we look at the peacock bass?
These are the Paratropolis Menarambos.
Sweetness.
They were actually considered extinct back in 2004, and then they found a small patch of them. So in 2000, I believe it was 8. Now they're just extremely extinct, extremely rare.
Extremely rare?
In the wild, yes.
So are you doing, is this kind of like your breeding group in hopes to breed them to give them back?
Yep, I got a group of 8 of them. Everything I've read said that it started them in a big group, and then they obviously will eventually go into here.
Okay.
So they're in 75 right now. They're, what would you say, 1.5 inches, 2 inches?
Yeah, they're
pretty small.
Yep.
So they'll grow into this tank and eventually get probably about the size of this pier's eye.
There they are, folks. Hey there, is that Corey Hecker's fish room? No, it's not Corey Hecker's fish room. And that is not Corey Hecker. But that is NORTHFIN Fish Food. No, that's a shameless plug. That was shameless plug.
Some carnivore, we can
but
throw it in here.
Look at that, look at that. The dude is...
Get these guys eating a little bit.
Corey Hecker and I have been kind of back and forth on YouTube for a while. We met at ACA for the first time. He brought his daughter, and then he knew we were coming again, and he invited us over the house, like I said earlier, and it's awesome to be able to do this sort of thing. But what I did want to touch on, look at that. Well, they're touching on the carnivore pellets. Look at that. Look at his gullet just full. I think he ate them all. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
What is this fish called?
He's a pier's eye.
Pier's eye?
Yep.
That's a cool fish. Sometimes it makes me want to jump into these guys. Look, really? You can't even swallow it.
Yeah. He'll get a lot brighter green sheen if he was the dominant fish.
Awesome Azul and Kelbiri you have, Corey.
Yep, that's the
amazing.
Kelbiri and that's the Orinco.
Awesome. So there are 3 different type of peacock bass.
3 different types. Yep.
Okay.
These 2.
You learn something new every day.
These 2 are the smaller of the peacock bass.
Okay.
The Azul will get about 30 inches.
Really?
However, like I said, he's going to get in a bigger tank. And when we talk about the local fish store, I did have a relationship where the guy said, hey, if it gets too big for you, bring him back. I'll buy him back from you.
So, and I don't know if you noticed this. I'm just kind of throwing this out there. So the research that I've done, fish aren't going to grow to the size of the tank that they're in, but it will stunt their growth. Have you noticed that he's gotten to a certain a certain length and then he just kind of slowed down dramatically, or is he just consistently has grown?
He's been the most recent ad.
Okay.
So I've only had him since, I would say, January, February.
Okay.
So as far as him growing, I would say he's probably put on, honestly, maybe 2 inches.
Okay. So he's still grown.
He's still
which is
growing.
good.
Now the Arinco, which I got him back in October, he was 9 inches when I got him. Actually threw the tape measure on him before I put him in the tank. And I mean, you can tell, I don't know what he is, honestly, off the top of my head, but he's not 9 inches anymore.
No, he's definitely not 9 inches. I'd go as far as if you were measuring tip of tail to the bottom of his jaw, I would probably say 12 inches.
Yeah, that's probably...
He looks about a foot.
And they are, and the Arinco and the Calbiri are the slowest growers of the peacock bass. So for him to put on 3 inches or so in almost 8 months, it's actually pretty impressive considering after they get to the 12-month part of their life, they slow down quite a bit.
Oh, cool. See, I don't know. You know, there's some people that'll claim to know. I know all about fish, man. And I mean, you can't be like that. You have to learn every day. I didn't know there were 3 different types of peacock bass.
There's actually 8.
Okay, so there's 8. I just found out that. And then I want to touch back on this. So with the ACA being this weekend, there's a program called CARES. Now, I don't know if these guys are on the CARES program or what, but folks, there are fish out there that we are able as fish keepers to raise to help keep population alive in the world so they don't go extinct like dinosaurs. Don't you wish dinosaurs were back, Jillian? No? I do. Oh, wait. Here's another fish. Look at this. Hey, baby. So let's go back. We got... Maybe you've watched Corey Hecker's videos, and if you haven't, shame on you, and that's your fault. But, so he posted that this guy right here was having some issues, and he thinks that the fish's back is broken. The fish was in the 220, and...
At least sprained. I don't know if you get a back sprain or not, but you can definitely see the kink.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you should take him to a fish doctor.
You know what? I actually had somebody jokingly say you need to straighten it out. When I pulled him out, I did actually kind of move it, and it does move, but...
It does?
You see how he's...
Yeah. I mean, the fish looks beautiful. He's breathing properly. He's eating. He's colorful. His fins look good. And, I mean, and he still has a little spunk. Clearly, he just chased that fish away. But you can legit see that his back still has that kink. And he was in a 220, so he wasn't crammed into a 5-gallon tank.
Yeah. He's currently 75.
I would agree that, I mean, dude, I would say that it's either sprained or possibly just, that's it.
He's slowly getting better, so each day, taking it day by day, and hopefully one day he'll be back in the 220.
That's awesome. Did you cry when you see him like that?
He's one of my favorites, so I didn't cry, but it was a little upsetting.
I might have cried when the 220 left.
Well, perhaps a tear.
Multiple tears trying to carry that thing out. So, Corey, what else would you say? What do you want? Because you didn't enter the contest yet.
This is gonna be my entry.
No, you can't. You can't enter right now. You can't. That's a cop out. So actually, let me ask Jillian. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What has the fish hobby done for you?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Stumped her.
Kinda.
I gave you a hint when you were sitting down there.
You
Helps
did?
me be closer to my dad.
That. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Well-
what has the fish hobby done for you?
Well, it brings me closer to my dad, and now that he has all these fish and stuff, sometimes he'll take me and my little sister on bike rides and stuff. He'll take us to the park and they'll spend time with us.
Yeah, because fish help with that.
They do.
We look in the creek and see if we can find it.
We do.
You went off on left field on that one. I
know,
threw
she
you a
did.
softball.
I did.
I threw you a softball. You've got a ton of them right there. So what? If you, besides all these fish, right? Let's say we went to a fish store that had every fish in the world, anything. What would you want to keep if you can logistically, meaning you can actually physically, don't say great white shark or blue whale. If you can keep it in a glass box humanely, which I guess is an oxymoron, what would you want to keep? Do you know?
Well, no, I don't really know
don't?
because I never thought about that.
I'll tell you what, you think about it, and then you're going to make a video on your dad's channel, and you're going to talk about the fish that you would keep if you could only keep one fish. Sound cool?
Yeah,
So folks, check that out on Corey Hecker's channel. But Corey, what is the fish hobby, I don't want to say given you, because it's not like we're given anything, but what has it done for you ultimately? As I mean, you work your butt off. You're a dad, you're a husband. I mean, I don't want to say average fish keeper, but that's the life of what we do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really make money at all, so so I would say that I'm just an average fish keeper. I mean, this is what I do. I guess it's given me a lot of I guess friends. Here we got somebody from Oklahoma in my basement in Michigan. I got different people's numbers that I text from time to time. IFG, you know, Adam C. Like a lot of connections that otherwise wouldn't have happened, and in a common bond, I guess.
Awesome.
And I guess that's kind of what ACA is all about.
Yeah, I mean that's what my wife and I were talking about. Mindy said, you know, she was kind of excited to go, but she's not super into fish. It's more so the camaraderie and just hanging out, like I said in the video last night, like-minded people. So and other than, I mean, you do videos and you give back by people getting inspired by fish and tanks. People say, no, I just do videos. It doesn't matter. If somebody sees something, if I'm watching a video, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get inspired by a lot of other friends and fellow YouTubers. I say, I'm like, oh my goodness. For instance, somebody asked me why or how I got onto Universal Rocks. I was actually watching a video on YouTube when I first started, and I saw the Holy Rock, and it led me back to them. So I think we all influence each other, but outside of the influence, what do you feel you're giving back to the fish hobby legitimately? It's not a conceited answer. It's
right.
Legit.
You know what I'll say, what I give back is kind of what I've taken as well, is different fish ideas, maybe a little bit of fish knowledge. You know, maybe somebody's looking at a peacock bass and doesn't know which one to get, always can come to me. You know, different types of fish that you see, like the Poloni in the other tank. Some people don't have those. What the heck is that? Why is that in an African tank? You know,
yeah.
I did a video on it. You know, a lot of knowledge that I give back as well. It's a lot of give and take.
Cool. Well, good, man. I mean, I learned that there's 8 different types of peacock bass.
I believe 8.
Well, he believes 8. Now he's changing his
my
story. So we're going to finish this off by going through here and looking at these fish one more time. I mean, the colors are awesome. The black sand makes him pop. This Venustus is... Why is he not in the 220?
He's not in the 220 because he dominates everybody.
Go figure.
They all were in one corner, all those fish. He had 3/4 of the tank to himself.
And a Venustus will do that.
Yep.
All right, let's... Well,
In
yeah. We're not even going to talk about how this fish isn't supposed to be in here, but it's still pretty.
Vija Regani.
Vija Regani. Sounds like an Italian dish.
He's a Central American.
That's an... Uh-oh, there's another one.
That's a Spazzani. Not Vija Regani. But they rhyme.
All right, here's the 220. It's looking lush. Fish are just doing well. They're healthy looking. This is the one he was just talking about from Madagascar. It's an awesome looking fish. Clearly he thinks he's awesome because he is like staring at the camera.
He's actually one of the ones that can hand feed too.
Really?
Yeah.
So Corey just, I don't know if you can hear that, but Corey said he can hand feed. Corey, that Polani is sweet. All right, folks. We're at Corey Hecker's house. It was awesome in Michigan. I've got to get to the hotel and set up this table so y'all can get some goodies and some swag. Also, we'll have some really neat stuff. So if you're in the area, stop by and check it out. Again, shout out to Corey Hecker for allowing us in the crib and taking lunch. And thank you, Jillian, for participating in something that you probably didn't want to. Because this is a gymnastic zone. Hi, Mindy.
Hi.
And I don't know how fish mix with that. So thank you, folks. You know what's next. Have you ever watched my videos? No.
Uh-oh.
That is messed up. So what you're going to do is when I say you know what's next, you're just going to say holla, but as a high pitch you can get. You going to try it?
No.
Come on, do it with me.
I don't want
All right, you folks know what's next.